right, good evening everyone. Welcome back once again to TCR, Trinity Competitive Racing. This is the Platinum class here tonight as we normally have it on Thursdays. And we are in Season 14 and just a couple of races to go to round this one off. So this is round 13 out of 14 and it is at the Circuit of the Americas here in Austin, Texas, in the USA. Welcome everybody. It's Blim Machine with you guys in the booth, and with me in the booth I've got a special guest. It's the ex-Red Bull driver, Apprentice. How's it going?
Good. Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here and spectating be able to talk about the USA Grand Prix.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen you on the grid. Tell us what you've been up to.
Well, I recently got hired at a new job, so it's kind of taken a lot of my time away that I kind of used to be able to, dedicate towards TCR. So being able to, watch a race and commentate it is a way to keep myself, involved in the series and, just see what's going on, how people are improving. So, glad to be here.
Yeah, cool. I'm sure it's going to be a fun race here tonight. This circuit usually provides some pretty good action. We have a couple of good DRS zones on it as well, so good slipstreaming, good battling. I hope it's going to be a good race. We've got 14 drivers qualifying here right now in the short qualifying session as we're watching HVAC Toaster trying to make his way around the track, but I think he's already kind of thrown this one lap away because he's had a couple of mistakes he's done alongside it. Still good enough for a P3 with a 133.5, and at the moment TJ has the fastest time with a 132.8, but it's very early on. 13 minutes still left to go. Let's jump on board with Ecos Darth Vader, which I'm guessing is probably 007, who's probably decided to change his name once again, or who is Ecos?
I believe so. I think I saw it in the chat a week or so ago, or a few days ago, and I think he joined the Ecos or whatever league. So it's very interesting. He's a very good driver. I've watched some of this season, and he's improved massively. So it's good to see because he's a nice guy, he's a good guy, and to see him kind of climb up that ladder and see all that hard work pay off, it's good to see.
And he crosses the line with a 133.4, and that's good enough for P3 at the moment. Everybody's just doing their first laps right now, pretty much. So these times are probably gonna, trickle down as we go through the session. Before we got on live here, we were thinking our fastest lap is gonna be around the 32.8, but I think we were wrong. I think it's gonna be probably even lower than that because, their banker laps are right around that area, or at least for TJ. So we'll see what they're going to do. Ooh, that was a huge wheel spin moment for Cali Rob on the last corner, but keeps it on track, crosses the line, 134.4, and that's good enough for 9th place at the moment. Very close between 2nd and 7th right now, between Seafreeze and Dreamsy or thereabouts. So I think we're in for a pretty close race here tonight. What do you think, Apprentice?
I think this season has been pretty competitive. I think B Tom has been the outstanding driver of the season so far, but I think it's been a lot of guys that be able to give him a hard time a few races if he slips up and stuff like that. And I think this could be one of those races where we would see, maybe Darth Vader or Verstappen maybe take that jump and maybe, challenge and maybe take that win away, which would be interesting.
Yeah, and if we are correct, then Darth Vader is 007 professional. He's coming off a win last week in Mexico. Funny enough, though, he's coming off a disqualification the week before that in Bahrain onto a win. And if he can take another win here this week, I think that will at least make it up a little bit for his disqualification a couple of weeks back. That was a pretty crazy one. I think in my history of commentating on TCR, I've only seen that instance twice, for different reasons too, which is absolutely crazy.
Go ahead and explain it, because I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, so in Bahrain a couple of weeks back, 007 Professional was, I think, 2nd or 3rd. He pitted, but he pitted onto the same compound of tires. So he started on the medium, he jumped onto another medium, And I think there was a couple of safety cars before they all pitted, so he was kind of building up to the fact that there should be another one, and
Oh.
there never was. And when we were all sure that he was going to pit with a couple of laps left, he didn't do it, and he didn't pit on the last lap, and he just got disqualified.
Didn't pit on the final lap, like when waving the checkered flag. He didn't go into the pits then.
Yeah, no, he didn't go in, and he got disqualified as he crossed the line to go on to the last lap. Because it was like,
Oh,
well, you
so
don't have a chance anymore to make a pit stop, so you're out.
do you think he was gonna attempt to make the pit on the exact final lap? That was his
As far as
intention?
we heard, no. Apparently, he thought, if I'm gonna pit now, I'm just gonna lose too much time. So he just decided to stick it out there and get the disqualification. I mean, just to explain to everyone, B-Tom has already won the championship. Tasmanian Devil, as he was always known, he's now a 3-time champion, joining a very secluded club of himself and Seafreeze. And Red Bull has already clinched the Constructors' Championship as well. So basically, there wasn't really much to fight for anyways, but still, it was a crazy moment when it happened. We were sitting in the booth here and just kind of yelling like, what is happening? Does he know that he needs to pit? Does he not? So, yeah, it was a crazy one.
Interesting. I guess when you're not in for the win, you take the gamble, and if it doesn't work out, you kind of made that decision, right? You made that gamble. So I don't know. It's interesting to see a driver do something different, but in the case of him being disqualified, it's not the best thing. But it is what it is, and he kind of made up for it with the week after winning, and we'll see what he can do this week, I guess.
Yeah, good entertainment value, I'll tell you that much. Let's jump on board here with Seafreeze. I think he's abandoned his first lap.
He's a full battery.
Yeah, he does have a full battery, but I think he had to abort on his first go because he was not on an outlap, but now he's going to go for it here. Let's jump on board and quickly go over this track. 20 turns coming up, 5.5 kilometers, 3.4 miles, and we jump into turn 1 up the hill. It is very, very steep in real life. They don't really deliver that in the game too much, but you can definitely see it. And then we go through 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 into the snaky section in Sector 1. Very easy to lose the back end of the car there and make it spin out as we watch Seafreeze handling it pretty well and making his way onto turn 10, and there we go. And this one is going to be a tricky one. Turn 9 and 10, that little bump on the inside of that curve, you really want to take it because that's the shortest line through that corner, but that's what it does to you. It just spits the car right out, and the rear end just wants to go 360 or 180. So, yeah, that was a big one. We'll see how Seafreeze can do a little bit better.
I think he just exited turn 1 here.
All right, jumping on board here.
I think he has a lot of time to improve right now. I think he's a quick guy. He's 5 or 6 tenths off TJ, so we'll see if he can improve here. Might have a scruffy first lap. He's not making the most of all the track, but he could make it up in the final.
Sector 1 purple. That was
really?
a purple
Okay.
Sector 1 as he makes his way cleanly through turn 10 and into 11. This one can be tricky too. The rear end wants to swing out on the exit if you apply the throttle too early, but not in this case. Darth Vader's got...
He kept the momentum. That was pretty good.
Yeah, got a really good run there. Opens up the DRS, and now on a run to a big braking zone into turn 12. Very well done through there as well. Good rotation on the car. I like the sound that that engine made when he was going through the gears. It wasn't very, sudden. It was very smooth. So well done there through Darth Vader. And now he's coming through, what was that, turn 13? Or, sorry, 18. And just a couple more corners to go in the third sector. It was not a purple sector too. A little bit wide on the exit there, but not invalidating. Very close. Opens up the DRS. Good enough for P2.
Verstappen just improved it well to go in P3. Both Mercedes 2 and 3 now. It's a pretty good showing. Bumped Seafreeze down a little bit, but I'm sure he can improve after his scruffy few laps, but I think he has time.
Looks like Bats Plus has invalidated his lap, or sorry, that was HVAC Toaster and Bats Plus have both invalidated their laps. Charger's on a lap right now. He is coming into turn 11. Gets pretty good rotation on the exit there. Into the DRS zone now. Did not open the DRS. Oh, he's on the slowdown lap. Never mind.
Mm. Tom leaves it late, and he's coming out of the pits now to start his first lap. Just doing an out lap right now. Only 5 minutes left. So I think he feels confident that he can put a good lap in at the end.
Yeah, last week he didn't qualify at all and finished second.
He definitely has the pace. He definitely is very quick. So I'm eager to see if he's going to set a lap or if he's going to. That was a little slide there in his out lap there. He's warming up the tires, I guess. But yeah, I'm eager to see if he wants to start last again and do a little challenge, or if he wants to fight at the front and see what results he can get. It'll be interesting.
All right, let's see. As long as he, doesn't do what Verstappen did on the last lap of Brazil, I think he should be okay.
Yeah.
You are the champion. You are in the Red Bull. Don't let that affect you. All right, here comes B-Tom. Is he going to start a hot lap here this week? Is he going to actually qualify? I think he might be. Let's take a look here, going up the hill into turn 1. Nice over there, not really touching the curb exactly, but still getting a really good corner. Okay, inside of turn 2, and now into the S section we go. Very nicely done there. As B-Tom now goes into turn 8, that's a purple sector 1, and now turn 9 coming up in 10. Pretty nicely done, smooth, no spinning.
Very clean lines. It looks like he's maybe going for a personal best here of the field, but it's hard to tell.
He's about to finish sector 2 here in just a moment, so we'll find out how good he did there. But into turn 12, using all of the track there. And that's a sector 2 purple as well for B-Tom. Waited until the end, until the track was rubbered in, and now he's putting in a really good lap. Oh, a little bit twitchy there on the exit of turn 13 or 14, and now we are into the triple right-hander. And a couple of corners to go here. Got to keep it inside the bounds. Ooh, keeping it very close outside the line there. Kind of toying with danger. And across the line for P2. Not quite pole, but very well done. 132.9. The only two people into the 132s right now are the two Red Bull drivers. And then they're followed by the two Mercedes drivers with very impressive times as well in the low 33s. Very close from there on, all the way down to P9 of Just Jose. He's the first one into the 34s. But between him and B-Tom and Verstappen, there's quite a few cars, and they're going to be very close together. A lot of people are out on track as well right now, getting their out laps, getting prepared for possibly their last hot lap right now. We only got a minute and a half to go.
Yeah, so for right now, with the time remaining, I don't think B-Tom can improve on that lap. I think that's it for him, and the highest is going to be P2. TJ's holding pole right now, but I think it's a question of these two Mercedes drivers, if they have the extra speed, a little bit, few more tenths to improve and take that pole away from him.
Yeah, it's going to be close between the Red Bulls and the Mercedeses. Is TJ on the hot lap right now? I think he is. I'm going to be on board with him now. He's currently your pole sitter. He's looking to possibly improve a little bit and give himself some buffer to the Mercedes drivers behind him as he now finishes Sector 1. That was not a purple, but it was a slight improvement on his best time. And let's see what TJ is going to be able to do here into turn 11. Oh, that was absolutely beautiful. Gets good traction on the exit of the corner as well. And now he's down that back straight with the DRS wing open. Let's see, this is going to be a pretty close battle.
007 starting a lap, or as I say, Darth Vader. He's beginning a lap. TJ's just finishing his. Let's see where he kind of ends up here. Got a slight little slipstream here from McLaren ahead of him. He's going to cross the line. Is he going to improve? He is, by around 600th a second. 600th, sorry. He'll improve. Hopping on with Darth Vader now, I assume. He's taking the S section in Sector 1. Looking pretty clean.
Oh, we have a purple sector from Eco's Verstappen in Sector 2. And let's see what he's going to be able to do here. We have a Haas that spun off. I think that was Sir Charles. And that's going to be the end of qualifying for that Haas. But where is Verstappen going to end up? He's coming into the last corner now. Opens up the DRS, crosses the line. He's going to be P2. A 132.872, just 72 thousandths of a second, separating TJ and Verstappen on the front line.
I said, Botham is not going to be able to improve with the time remaining. I think it's 007's chance here to shine. He's currently starting midpoint of Sector 3 right now. He's going to cross the line soon. The question is if it can pip him and make him fall down to 4th. Making Mercedes maybe a front row lockout possibly. We'll have to see. I don't know what just happened. Wait, what happened?
That's the end of qualifying. Everybody has already crossed the line. TJ is on pole position, and he's going to be leading Verstappen into the race here. So Verstappen in P2, B-Tom in P3, and the other Red Bull and the other Mercedes of Eco's Darth Vader in P4. Then we have Toaster, Chargers, Seafreeze, Bats Plus, Just Jose in 9th, Dreamzy in 10th, Cali Rob in 11th, Sir Charles in 12th, Epic Wins in 13th, and Cam is going to be starting the race down in 14th place and last. But that's not a bad place to start if you have the pace. B-Tom started last week and finished P2. Anything could happen. Alright, and I don't think we're gonna get a formation lap in this race. We pretty much haven't had a formation lap all season because there's always been glitches with it. So we're just waiting for the drivers to get their strategies figured out, and then we're gonna be getting into the race. But Apprentice, I wanna hear some of your predictions and what do you think about strategy in terms of pit strategy around here?
I think a lot of it's going to be pretty simple with the medium to the hards. I don't think you have a lot of freedom unless you're going to swap the strategies, like swap them around. I think it's pretty difficult to kind of be creative. But I think TJ's starting on pole. I don't believe he's won yet in TCR. I could be wrong, but I think this is a good opportunity with Botham winning the championship. He'll be able to be a rear gunner. I know they're teammates and they're good friends, so. We'll be able to see what we can do with the Mercedes, how much pace they have, and how much of a fight there's pushing. But, you know, I think he has a good opportunity of getting his first win.
Who was that, sorry?
TJ.
Oh, TJ. Has TJ won yet? Let's see here. Not this season, but I'm not sure if he has had a win in his TCR career. Not 100% sure on that. But, yeah, that would be a great thing to watch here. I'm excited for that. We are just about to get going here. Let's get ready. All right, the lights are going on here. 3, 4, 5. And we go racing in USA. And let's see here at the front.
It's a great launch.
Yeah, Verstappen is already ahead. It looks like B-Tom is kind of challenging Verstappen as well into turn 1. We have a bunch of people 3 and 2 wide all over the place. Let's jump to the back a little bit. See here a nice little battle between the two Ferraris, Chargers and Seafreeze. And it looks like Seafreeze gets a little bit of a shove there. bit of a contact between the two Ferrari drivers, but overall pretty clean start. Verstappen didn't quite end up going for the move into turn 1. TJ and B-Tom ended up keeping the front.
Yeah, it appears as if the Mercedes drivers were a little more cautious going to turn 1 than the Red Bull. The Red Bulls were a lot more later on the brakes and were able to maximize the corner, and that's what really put them ahead on the exit of turn 1. But it's kind of a shame.
Here's the move. Here's a move from Verstappen into turn 11. How is this going to work? B-Tom is going to try and keep the inside. He does. And there goes Verstappen into P2.
Yeah, it looks like Verstappen's the only driver here on the top 4 who's on the mediums. It'll be interesting to see that he has to make up his time right now. He doesn't want to get stuck behind TJ for too long, or he's going to really feel that effect, and it'll hurt him later on in the race. Ooh, we have a spin by Dreamsy.
Dreamsy. Dreamsy goes for a little bit of a spin, but he is back on track now. Just Jose is way down as well. I'm not sure if he had a little bit of an issue. Yellow flag in sector 3 as we cross the line for the first time, and it's TJ leading, Verstappen in second, B-Tom in third, and Darth Vader in fourth. So the two Red Bulls and the two Mercedes up in the front.
No, it'll be interesting to see if Bats on these mediums can hold on to these guys. I know DRS is pretty powerful, so if we're in that range, she'll be able to kind of pull that gap from HVAC Toaster. Will solidify his P5 a little more, if not advance further up.
I think Sir Charles has had a little bit of a spin as well. He's dropped a few positions down, and there was a yellow briefly in sector 2, or sector 1 I think it might have been. Let's see what's going on at the front. Verstappen pushing. He's using a bit of his battery, using the slipstream, putting a bit of pressure on TJ. Into turn 12 they go again. Oh, very close. No contact. TJ jumping back into the front. Verstappen taking the left-hand side, the outside of the corner into the inside. Oh, there's going to be some touching now.
Ooh, that was really good racing. That was really good racing. They touched a little bit, but that was all fair. They're all trying to give each other room. So it was a good move by Verstappen now. He's got to make it. He's got to really pull that gap now. TJ's played this very well with maintaining his battery. I think he knows that he's going to try to hold on to Verstappen and not let him leave the 1 second margin here. It'll be interesting to see how this race plays out now that Verstappen has kind of got the free air that he needs.
DRS enabled, so that's going to add a little bit of space.
Into turn 1, going around the outside. Will he get it? He will. Clean move.
Yeah, pretty nice moves so far we're seeing in this race. Pretty exciting, good racing, clean overall. Right now, we have DRS enabled as well, so we're going to have possibly a little bit of extra overtaking.
Verstappen has pace. He's quick. They already pulled out a 1 second gap. It's less than a lap. And now HVAC Toaster threatening Darth Vader right now, overtaking him down the back straight already before the even corner. Make that move pretty easily.
Seafreeze makes a move on Bats Plus up into P6. Seafreeze, where did he start? He started in P7, so he's just moved up to 1 position so far, and checking out the position changes now. Looks like Cam K has been the biggest winner here, rising up from last to P10 just in a couple of laps time. Well done. Nice little mix of tires as well. We didn't really mention, but TJ and B-Tom starting on hards, Darth Vader on the hards, Callie, Rob, and Cam, Just Jose and Dreamsy all on the hard tires. And then Verstappen, Toaster, Seafreeze, Bats Plus, Chargers, Epic Wins, and Sir Charles on the medium tires.
Yeah, it seems like these medium tires are really working and getting fired up pretty quickly. HVAC Toaster's holding on to the back of B-Tom right now, which is It's not what I would expect to happen, but it seems like these mediums are really holding on. They're providing a lot of quick lap times.
A very close battle here between Chargers and Bats Plus as well. Bats Plus kind of losing position. And look at that huge DRS train, or the choo-choo, as Sir Charles likes to call it.
Ooh, Chargers may go on Bats here down the straight, going down the inside. Late braking. Bats leave some room. Chargers, ooh, kind of runs wide, bumps into Bats there. But Bats is able to maintain position. Push him a little bit wide, but it's all fair. Good racing by the two of them.
Yeah, keeping it civil for now. Only lap 4 though. We still got quite a ways to go. If you guys are watching, thank you so much for joining the stream. Make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Send in some comments. Let us know who you guys are rooting for, or if you have any predictions for the podium finishers. Here comes Chargers on Bats Plus. And into turn 1, that's going to be ahead enough. And he is up into P7, Bats Plus, losing more positions now.
Yeah, Verstappen's running away with this right now. He's getting the gap he needs. He's doing everything he's got to do with those mediums on. The last thing he needed was getting stuck behind the Red Bulls, but he's made work of them and he's kind of extending that gap. I'm interested to see how TJ and Botham is gonna, or B-Tom is gonna respond to this when they get on the medium tire. I wonder if they're gonna be as quick, or if Verstappen does have a slight pace advantage, possibly.
Let's see here on the back straight. No moves being done at the moment. Everybody just being very patient, saving up their batteries as much as they can, keeping their tires in check. And yeah, they understand this is going to be a long one, but what are we thinking for pit stops, laps 12, 13, 14, or do you think we're going to see some of these medium runners try and pull it for as long as possible, or what do you think the chances of a safety car can be here?
I'm not really sure, because I'm looking at this right now, and you'd think that if the medium's got to go at least another five laps at least, Verstappen is only at like 10% ERS. He's not managed it perfectly, and you see TJ with around 98%, so I don't know what's going on here. But you'd think they'd be stretching it out a little bit more, I don't know, conservatively.
Alright, let's jump to the front here. HVAC Toaster and the Alfa Romeo putting in quite a show here tonight. Let me remind you, he is a winner, a Grand Prix winner. He won the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix just, what was that, 3 weeks ago. So well done for Toaster, and right now in a pretty good position for a challenge for the podium here tonight.
I think 007 or Darth Vader here is eyeing up a move on HVAC. He's kind of been sitting behind him here, and I think he can tell his tires are slowly falling off, so he's getting closer and closer to him, and HVAC's advantage is kind of dissipating now, and it's still too far to make that move. Kind of stuck in this train now, limbo mode, but see how this kind of plays out. I'm still shocked though how TJ has so much ERS. It's puzzling me. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's not easy to save up ERS on this game on any track, so the more you use, the harder it is to save it back up again. And looks like HVAC Toaster starting to lose a bit of time on B-Tom. Maybe those medium tires are finally starting to get a little bit of wear on them. Which is probably not good news for Seafreeze and Verstappen, although Verstappen's got a couple of seconds.
Yeah. When do you think the medium drivers will start pitting? Top 12-ish, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'd say like 12, 13. Maybe if you're somebody like Verstappen and you're doing really good on them, you might be able to pull out 14 or 15.
Do you think it's worth the medium tire, extending it that stint a little bit longer and having a little more easier time on the hard, or what do you think?
It really just depends on how well you do with tire wear, and the other thing is, like somebody like Verstappen right now, right? Like look at your gap behind you. If you're starting to lose time and you're trying to extend, there's no point. Just pit and get new tires on. But if you're extending and you're still gaining lap times on people behind you, yeah, I guess you still got tire life.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
All right, we're 1/4 through the race. 7 laps are done and 21 more to go. And at the moment, Verstappen is leading the race with TJ in second, B-Tom in third, A-Track Toaster very close behind in fourth, Darth Vader in fifth, and Seafree starting to catch up to this DRS train in front of him.
Which is concerning because he's on mediums. I think that could be a possibility of A-Track Toaster kind of slowing it up a little bit and then maybe pushing 007 back into Seafreeze. But it's interesting to see Seafreeze getting closer to that front pack here with his tires degrading.
Yeah, this is quite exciting, but also like these guys are just being extremely patient right now, which is you know, uncharacteristic of the Platinum class. Usually we see some big moves. But right now, these guys are just playing the long game, and it's kind of, I mean, it is the name of the game here. This is what you gotta do. You gotta figure out the strategy, you gotta keep your tires in check, keep your fuel, keep your battery, everything else like that. That's how you win races. Alright,
Looks like
let's
we're
see.
all just kind of spread apart here right now in this limbo mode. But how do you feel about this track as a United States Grand Prix? How do you feel about it?
I'm actually a bit of a fan of this particular track. I usually have pretty good pace around here. I like the overall flow of it, except for maybe the last, what is that, corner 15, the one where you kind of come out of the really long straight and then you go left, right, and then that big left that comes up very suddenly on you. I do not like that one too much, but other than that, it's a really fun track to drive. I'm a much bigger fan of this one than the new USA track that we got in Miami, so I'll take this one over Miami any day.
No, I agree. I think a lot of this track was kind of made for spectators as well as it made for racers. And although I haven't been here, I'd want to go here at least one day. And seeing that Sector 3 and being able to see all those videos of like the Hamilton Verstappen battles from like the Sector 3 grandstands and that little kind of courtyard where they do that loop, it's kind of an awesome place to view Formula One, and it's the neat place I'd wanna be at least once.
Absolutely, I would love to make it to any F1 track and watch any race. It's so hard to do. It's extremely expensive, and right now there's a shortage of tickets pretty much at any track. So, I mean, depending, if you go to like Azerbaijan, if you go to Baku, you can get a ticket. They're available. But it's kind of on the other side of the world and very close to some not so nice areas right now.
I think a lot of Netflix and how they're has introduced it to a different audience, especially over the COVID-19. People being inside has created a huge audience for Formula One in the western side of the world, and that only increases, people buying tickets. It makes it more competitive and more, harder to get a ticket, right? More expensive and all that stuff. So it's nice to see there's more fans, but if you want to go to a race, it's kind of worse because you got to pay more and it's all that stuff, right? It's a hot commodity, and I'm glad to see it grow, though. It's good.
No, it definitely is nice to see it grow, especially in North America. I think this is a market that was untapped for a really long time and had huge potential, and obviously it's captured it now. I used to work at companies back in the day, and I would say that I'm a Formula One fan, and the only person people would ever know of was like Michael Schumacher.
Yeah.
But now, when I like just started my new job a few months ago, the first thing I heard from my boss was like, "Oh, what is that? Is that a Red Bull sign behind you? Oh, I'm a huge Formula One fan. I have a
Oh
sim
yeah.
rig. I have this. I have
Yeah.
that." And I'm like, "Holy wow, that's really crazy how popular it's become." The other thing I think that really promoted Formula One so crazy fast was the fact that they released their F1 TV package, and they
Oh
made it
yeah.
accessible to a lot more countries that were not accessible for it before. Canada being one of them, right? Where we live,
Hmm.
myself and yourself, Apprentice, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so,
Yep. I use it all every race weekend. I got it. I got the dual screen kind of going,
yeah,
where it's either I'm watching Hamilton or Verstappen or whoever I'm watching, whoever's kind of an interesting part of the race. You can hop on board, and I feel like you get more information when you're watching that on board than you do kind of watching the outside view. You get to see kind of the cars handling, what they're kind of struggling with, a little bit more than what you would on the outside view. So I love F1 TV. Having that access to us is huge, and I enjoy stuff like that.
yeah, it's amazing. I mean, back in the day when I wanted to watch F1, I really couldn't because there was no Canadian sports channels that would have it on, and I didn't have any American channels, and I didn't have Sky Sports F1 or anything else like that. So basically, I had to wait for about 3 days after the race, and I would go on to the F1 website, and I would just watch the like 10-minute recap of the race.
Yeah.
And that was my only way of watching it. So when they released F1 TV, I was absolutely, I was so excited because I was like, wow, $10 a month, that's all it is, and I can watch this stuff. Like,
Yeah.
it was incredible. So it obviously promoted the sport, and now there's so many more fans. The demand for the tickets, for the merchandise, for everything else like that has grown just exponentially. And it's really good because now that also means that there's going to be more racing programs, more motorsports, racing tracks and things like that in Canada and the U.S., which is exactly what we've been waiting for.
Hmm. With it expanding, and you're seeing the states have a lot more Grand Prix. Like we have two currently, and we're gonna have a third one next year. What are your thoughts on having three Grand Prix in one country in particular?
Um, I mean, I'm not so sure we need three of them in the U.S. It does kind of start, seeming like it's a money grab at this point.
Yeah.
They're kind of following FIFA's footsteps, and I don't want F1 to get to that point. But at the same time, if you can sell all the tickets, and you can sell not just that weekend, but like that whole week with events and promotions, and there's a demand for it, why not? Why not do it, right? If there's a market for it, there's no point withholding back from it. The thing is, how good is the quality of that actual track going to be?
No,
And,
I agree. I was just gonna say that it doesn't
and
come
the
at a cost of the
racing, yeah.
quality of the racing, and does it hurt the racing for the immediate impact of just getting that money and getting that, because they know people are lining up to get tickets, and they can make a Grand Prix out of thin air, but is it going to be a good track? Is it going to be a good race? These are the things that are important to the racing fans, and not so much the people who just casually enjoy it, who have the money that can spend that money to watch it that weekend if they're in Las Vegas or so. But we are seeing TJ slowly get to Verstappen here. Verstappen's tires are falling off. It will be interesting to see if he pits this lap or next lap.
Yeah, he's lost about a second and a half in about a couple of laps' time. He doesn't pit just yet. He's going for another lap, but I gotta wonder.
Seafreeze goes in the pits though in the mediums. He makes the commitment for the undercut on Darth Vader here.
Let's see if this is gonna work. It'll be a good indicator for us of the undercut here. It did work for a couple of guys, both in silver and in golden class. Let's see if that's going to be the case for Seafreeze. And at the moment, in the meantime, we've got TJ really hunting down Verstappen now, putting a lot of pressure on him. And we're coming up to a DRS zone in just a couple of corners time. But yeah, where I would love to see more races? I'm not sure if USA is the place where you need more, but maybe Italy. Maybe
Italy.
the
We already have two
UK.
though. We have
Yeah,
two.
yeah, get another one. I'm sure they have
Get another
another
one.
really good one. Was it Maranello or whatever that one is
I
called?
think the biggest one that we all kind of know subconsciously, but we don't think of immediately, is Germany. We need a German race.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
motorsport and Germany go hand in hand,
Hockenheim
and
was
you can't have it
amazing.
without it. The rich history of Vettel and Schumacher is like astonishing. The amount of like success they've had, and those fans of Vettel are still young kids of Germans today, and to have them be able to go to a race is huge for that. It growing as well. And with Vettel leaving, I bet you will see a small diminishing of interest in young kids, because having that kind of role model or somebody who is of your nationality does kind of get people more interested.
So look at this. It seems like Verstappen is not pitting. He did get overtaken by TJ on the back straight. He's still continuing on. He might be taking on my idea of taking these mediums really far, but he's losing a bunch of time. And TJ continues on his hard tires, but B-Tom did pit, puts on a brand new set of mediums. And where is Seafreeze? Seafreeze did not gain anything. Actually, looks like he might have lost a couple of places.
Yeah, he could have been a little more further behind than what I thought, so it may not have been in the window exactly, but it didn't look like the undercut made a huge difference, so we'll see. But Verstappen with the overcut, that could play dividends. I think he's trying to hold in his DRS zone here in TJ and just kind of tow his way along, kind of hold these tires as long as he can.
Just Jose has a little bit of a spin on the exit of turn 6, I think it was, or no, turn 9.
I think he just got out of the pits and he's on cold tires.
No, he's on old 13 lap old hards.
Oh, is he? Okay.
But he touched that inside curve again of turn 9 that really likes to spit you out, and he got spit out. Epic Wins has retired in the pits. Looks like Cali Rob was sizing up a move here on Seafreeze, but had to back out of it. What's going on at the front?
To stay out.
Oh my.
As long as he's staying in that tow range and he's not losing touch with him, he's doing nothing wrong here, to be honest. I think once he comes out of that second, he'll need to pit immediately. But I think his fight is with TJ right now. B-Tom has pitted. He did put in a purple sector 3, so he is really quick right now. So I think these guys, when they do pit, they will be behind B-Tom.
Yeah, Seafreeze is 5.5 seconds behind B-Tom, so quite a distance back. Kind of separated into two groups there, and then B-Tom is another 12.5 seconds behind Darth Vader, who has not pitted yet, so he's actually within his pit window. He's going to get that position back. He's also going to get a position on Verstappen when Verstappen makes his stop. This is a very interesting approach here from Verstappen to today's race with the strategy. I'm very excited to see how this is going to turn out for him.
How do you think a strategy of medium soft could work out on like this? Do you think that's plausible, or do you think he's going to go on the hards regardless?
If a safety car comes out, you could probably make that work, but I don't think it's going to work in another scenario, or at least it will work. You're just not going to be anywhere near the guys at the front. Question for you, though. We're talking about Germany getting another race. There was news today that Mick Schumacher, it was not going to be on the Haas team next year. How do you feel about that?
It's tough because as a personality, I really like the guy, but you'd have to say that he needed to beat Magnussen this year comfortably to maintain his position. I think someone like Schumacher, or someone like you look at people who are high achievers, the Hamiltons, the Vettels, the Leclercs, the Verstappens. I think Leclerc has more time to show what he has. I think he did show the best this year, but I think he has more to give. But I think Schumacher, if he wanted to be placed into that group of those top drivers, that group of them, he didn't make that impression this year. And I don't blame Haas for dropping him, sorry. And I think with Nico, from the way it seemed like by the rumors, calling up Gunther every night essentially and really harassing him, I think Gunther kind of thought that this guy wants a seat I'm just not seeing the results with Mick, and Mick is kind of causing a lot of damage with the cars, and I think I don't like it. I'm kind of upset, but at the end of the day, you're ruled by your performance. You're only good as your last kind of season type of thing, and you know what? I think if he has, an off year, he may get an opportunity in another team. You never know, but he's in a tough position. Same with Daniel Ricciardo right now.
Yeah, that's one driver I'm really upset to see leaving the sport, as well as, well, the retirement of Sebastian Vettel. We're losing an absolute legend from the sport, and yeah, gonna be sad to see him. Hopefully he'll be back in the sport in some sort of capacity with one of the teams, maybe as an advisor of some sort, or something along those lines. I'm sure he's gonna take a couple of years off.
Wouldn't that be cool, eh?
Yeah, I'm sure he's gonna probably take a couple of years off.
Kind of like a Niki
first.
Lauda role, kind of in the background, making some
Oh,
decisions.
yeah.
Though that'd be very cool. But
Yeah,
I
and
don't know
he's
if
not-
Seb's that guy. But if he was, I'd be surprised, and I think it'd be
Yeah.
very. Everyone would be on board if he did that.
He's not the only one. We've had Fittipaldi in there with some teams. We've had all kinds of drivers or ex-drivers coming in to help out after they retire. But I was gonna say he's probably gonna take a few years off before that happens. So we might see him in a few years back on there. But until then, I'm sure he's gonna want to spend some time with his family, and he's got a bunch of projects that he's working on, all kinds of environmental things. So. Yeah, but it's just sad to see him go. He's a great driver, amazing personality in the sport. And yeah, we're going to lose the two biggest smiley people on the paddock. We're going to have a bunch of serious faces next season.
No, it's sad to see him go, but at the end of the day, his performance have slowly went down. I think it kind of is time for him to move on. He's had a hugely successful career, and I think if he was in position like Hamilton, for instance, where he had a team that could perform better and give him a car that could win races and podiums, I think he would be 100% staying. But I think racing for last place and kind of 10th is kind of the best. I think he doesn't want to have that for a long-term thing.
Yeah, I completely agree. Oh, we've got some touching going on here between HVAC Toaster and Seafreeze. HVAC Toaster really wants this position, and he's going to get it. He was really pushing for it, and there was some touching, there was some contact going on for a while, but they managed to keep it nice and clean overall. HVAC Toaster up into P4. At the front, it's the two Red Bulls. TJ on his 17-lap-old hard tires. B-Tom on a 4-lap-old medium. And then we've got Verstappen in third right now on a 2-lap-old hard tire. So he just put that one on recently, and he's still got 5 seconds of a gap between himself and B-Tom to catch up to. So a little bit of work to do.
Some overtakes from Darth Vader here. He did pit later, and he is behind Seafreeze and HVAC Toaster, so he will have to get through those guys to get to the podium positions if he wants to. But yeah, there'll definitely be some overtakes. He seems quicker, and see what happens.
10 laps to go, so he's still got some time to do it if he wants. I'm going to be excited to see some more overtakes if that is the case, as we're now coming up to, the DRS straight there, and Seafreeze had a big twitch. Managed to save it, but yeah, that rear end really wanted to go.
How do you feel about TJ's strategy going really long on the hards?
I don't think it's too bad. I mean, those hards can last for quite a while. They could probably make it even to lap 20, 21. And then he's going to have an easier job on a faster tire towards the end of the race. Great decision from my perspective, as long as he can keep it all together as he goes into the pits now. So he's done 18 laps on those mediums. Oh, and he's going for softs.
Interesting. I like it.
And sorry, that was the hard tires that he switched off of. So he had hards for 18 laps, and he's going to have to do 9 laps on the soft tires. Where is he going to come out now? He's going to come out behind Verstappen. Verstappen just
crucial.
beats him.
Yeah, that's really gonna hold his advance on these fresh softs to get B-Tom, but I guess he kind of knew that was gonna happen when he stayed out so long. So we'll see if he can get through him and what kind of position he can end up in.
Yeah, I mean, they'll warm up faster because they're a softer compound. They're going to be quicker. He is only 1.2 seconds behind So I think that's very much plausible for him to make up that time. Look at that, already almost within DRS.
Speaking from personal experience, I haven't used the softs a whole lot in the races, but the one time I have, I knew that, well, I found out that after around 6-7 laps, they hit a brick wall and the understeer came in and everybody else behind you is just way quicker. So I think he only has a limited amount of time to make these moves. And then if he does make that move on Verstappen, it'll be about holding him back. It'll be, I think that's going to be the real problem he's going to have is how these fall off at the end. But we'll have to see.
Exciting stuff going on here right now on lap 19 of 28. We're getting some more battling for position and for the podium especially. So let's see how this one's going to turn out. TJ is right on the rear wing of Verstappen here as we're going to be coming onto the start-finish straight, and the DRS is going to be enabled in about 50 meters from here. There we go. That rear wing drops down. TJ's got it. He's going to be going on the right-hand side. He's going to go around the outside into turn 1. Going to leave the space there for Verstappen, but Verstappen backs out of it and gives him the space.
Now, the one thing I forgot that was in play is these battery levels. And with TJ, he might not even have the issue of having to worry about Verstappen. He has so much that he may be able to just put the throttle down and just kind of run away here.
We have a yellow in sector 3. I think that
if he's retiring. Oh, maybe not. I don't know.
I think that was Cali Rob. I think he had a spin on the last corner. What's going on here at the front? B-Tom leading, TJ in second, Verstappen in third, HVAC Toaster in fourth place right now with DRS. Or no, without DRS, but Darth Vader's got DRS, yeah. Here he comes into turn 12. Oh, it's going to be tight. Kind of squeezes Toaster out there, and he gets P4.
Once again, I think it was pretty fair from the both of them. I think he left a pretty good amount of room on the outside, and I think HVAC knew that wasn't his kind of battle to fight. I think he knows he's quicker, and he's gonna run away now a little bit.
So TJ's gotten around Verstappen. He is on that brand new soft tire, but he is 5.4 seconds behind B-Tom, his own teammate.
I think that gap's a little too big to come from. I think
I was going to say it's a double dilemma. The first one is, can you catch up to your teammate? The second one is, he's your teammate. Are you going to risk going for an overtake and both of you lose out on points, or do you just, finish as a 1-2 as it is?
Yeah, we'll see. I think he may have issues even getting to him. I could be wrong. I think that distance is too big, and I think by the time that gap goes beneath it around probably 3 seconds, let's say, I think the tires are going to fall off and he won't have enough time. But I could be wrong, but I don't mind someone taking a gamble. It makes the race a little interesting.
Another yellow flag in sector 3 again. I think that was for Cali Rob. And he might be coming into the pits now. He is. Is he going to be retiring? Yes, he is. So he's retired in the pits. As we watch HVAC Toaster here trying to retake the position back from Darth Vader, who just overtook him on the previous lap.
Jose's going to go on bats here on the back straight. He's going to make a late move, possibly. Ooh, he goes for the dive. Bats leaves a good amount of room, and he maintains position.
All right, 3/4 of the race are done. Just 7 more laps to go. Who's going to be on that top step? Is it going to be B-Tom, TJ, Verstappen, or maybe even possibly Darth Vader if B-Tom and TJ get tackled up together? Who knows?
I could be wrong, but I thought I saw Verstappen lift and coast, so he may be having fuel. He may be low on fuel.
He does indeed have a low fuel warning. It's saying on his wheel he's about 0.6 of a lap down on his fuel.
Oh no.
Yeah, we did see actually somebody in the silver class, was it Silent Ace, I think it was, that retired? Or, you know, ended up with no fuel about half a lap to go. And that's what actually gave me the podium. Okay, he's now down to just 0.2 of a lap down, so he's doing much better. I think he'll be able to make it until the end, but he's going to have to manage it. He's down to 7.2 seconds behind TJ, and Darth Vader is now going to be 3 seconds behind him in catching. TJ, though, 3.6 behind B-Tom, so in one lap, he cut it down by a second and a half.
A-Track is holding on to Vader, though. He didn't battle him too hard, and he's kind of playing this smart. He may think he can pip him at the end as long as he stays with him, so we'll see how that's going to turn out. Seafreeze is also very close behind. Once again, B-Tom with a good amount of battery, so he has that buffer if TJ does get close. TJ did have a lot of battery. He's kind of using a little bit more of it, but he still has a fair amount of reserve. Verstappen's pretty low, and Vader is somewhat on the lower end.
Just Jose's into the pits. Looks like he is staying in the race by switching over to soft tires. But yeah, this is the closest battle on track here right now. Seafreeze, Toaster, and Darth Vader all trying to battle for P4, possibly P3 in just a moment, because Verstappen is really dropping back by a massive amount. He's 4 seconds slower than he was on the previous lap. He's saving a lot of fuel, or I guess he has to save a lot of fuel.
Yeah, I think that is the issue here. I think he just underfueled and you didn't. And it's really costing him now. Worst case scenario, he's dropping back to 6th, which is a real possibility.
He's teetering back and forth on pretty much zeros.
Could explain why he had such a really good start into turn 1, of being on a little bit lesser fuel than the others. Kind of the contrast of picking the low fuel is if you kind of go too low, you're stuck in the position he is now.
And we're watching 3 different cars trying to overtake the Mercedes now. Oh, there's a move from Toaster on Darth Vader. And that's going to be a close one there. They're still side by side going into turn 2, and they're still going to be side by side going into the S's, but Darth Vader has to back out of that one, otherwise it would have been a disaster. Toaster up into P4.
Could Toaster get a podium here? It's all up for grabs here. That'd be a shock. I would not have predicted that, but he's making it work right now and doing small gains each lap, and with the fuel problems that Verstappen we assume he's having, it's looking only more likely that A-Track could get that 3rd place spot.
So Verstappen still holding on to it with everything he's got in that fuel tank. He's using all of the last drops and fumes, trying to manage it as best he can. Now A-Track Toaster is pushing behind him and putting a lot of pressure on him, and then there's also Darth Vader and Seafreeze still battling it out. Bats Plus and Chargers going for a bit of a battle. It looks like Bats Plus is going to overtake Chargers, and Chargers got damage to the front wing on the left hand side. He's missing his end plate, so maybe
is getting close. 1.7.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about TJ out in the front there. He's catching up to his own teammate. He's doing a lot better
than what I thought he was going to do. He's made that gap a lot smaller.
Yeah, I wasn't
now,
really...
though, his tires are going to fall off, though. You can see the wear, the visual wear, but I don't know how he's feeling it on the track. But it's definitely going to come into play sooner or later with the 6 laps, like I was saying before, 6 to 7 laps to kind of hit a wall. So this could be the spot where he kind of hits a brick wall and stops progressing, or maybe he keeps on advancing. We'll see. He's 1.4, gaining 0.3 still.
Yeah, I honestly was never in doubt that TJ will be able to catch up to B-Tom. The question, though, was, you know, what does he do when he does? Does he go for a move? Does he just hang back? Is he going to have enough tires left by that point? All of that is going to really come down to the last couple of laps here, and we're not far away. Only 3 laps to go. Toaster is starting to lose touch a bit with Verstappen, but still got the DRS.
Did get Vader though. I don't know if I missed that or if you missed that, but
yeah, I guess we both did. But Seafreeze, yeah, up into P5, did get Darth Vader. So both of the Mercedes, all of a sudden, towards the end of the race, struggling.
Yeah. Wonder if it's a setup thing or I'm not sure. It's kind of both of them kind of having issues. Yeah, TJ 1.5. Slowly, slowly, slowly.
HVAC Toaster still reeling in Verstappen right towards the end of the race here. What's going on Verstappen's fuel? Let's try and take a look on his onboard. He is plus 004. So not much. Again, teetering right on that edge of having fuel and having absolutely none. HVAC Toaster.
I think HVAC's going to get him. I think he's going to get him by the end of the race.
HVAC Toaster's got almost an extra lap of fuel, so he is not in danger there. TJ still 1.5 seconds behind B-Tom, so not much movement. I think you're probably right. I think he's probably come to that point now when those soft tires are not really giving him too much anymore. He might still be able to close in.
1.3 there, yeah.
He might still be able to close into a DRS range, but again, I don't think he'll have enough to make a move, and not much of a point at this moment anyways. He's already a Constructors Champion. His teammate is already the Drivers Champion. You're not going to be able to win any other titles. But it's always nice to get a win, I mean, regardless. So if he can get it, definitely go for it.
Yeah.
I
wonder if questions are going to be asked at the end of if the softs were the gamble he should have took, or if he should have went the safe route. He could have. I think he would have been ahead of B-Tom, and he would have possibly could have beat him. I think this medium soft is definitely a slower strategy unless circumstances come up. But I think it's been a pretty straightforward race, and I think it could have not worked in his favor in hindsight.
That's a valid point, definitely. You know, there's a chance that if he would have pitted onto the medium tires, he would have possibly been ahead. Might have had a little bit of a better ending to this race. Might have been able to challenge his own teammate for the win. But overall, he took that risk and he still made it work. So definitely well done from TJ. Still going to be a 1-2 for the Red Bull team here tonight, as long as they can bring it to the line. As Chargers takes away the fastest lap here tonight, 1:35.1.
But in the top kind of 5 here, you're kind of seeing that Verstappen took a gamble and he really pitted pretty late. And I don't know if it's hurting him now, if it hurt him before with the gap and he exited the pits. But I think HVAC Toaster, the more conventional, I believe, tire choice. He's running well. Same with Seafree, he's more conventional and he's running well. And same with B-Tom, he's conventional and running P1.
Absolutely. Sometimes the clever strategy ends up being a little bit slower. So, but yeah, I mean, still well done. Good drive. Yeah, he's definitely dropping back a lot now. 3.2 seconds.
He hit the wall.
Yeah, he hit the stint wall, as Nelson mentioned in the chat here. Thank you for that one. I'm going to use that one from now on. And we're on the last lap.
Yeah. Question is, HVAC here, has he set it up for a last lap move here to get a podium? Does Verstappen have to lift? What's his fuel? Can you see it? Does he have to lift and coast a little more, or can he make it on a full push lap?
He's plus 007 right now, so he's
I don't
all
think
right.
so. I think he might have to lift into a few corners, maybe. Because doesn't
we'll
low fuel start at like 0.01?
I don't know, somewhere around there. It's kind of weird on this new game.
I don't know.
Yeah, because up until the last lap or so, it's just a prediction, right? Like it doesn't actually know how much you have. So basically, at any moment right now, it could say you're out of fuel, and that's it.
We'll know shortly. Tom's running, come to the end of the final sector here.
Yeah, B-Tom into the last couple of corners on the track, gonna bring it home for Red Bull with another win to his name, another win to the Red Bull team in Season 14. They are already the champions, but this one is just an extra little bit on top, the cherry on the top of the cake there. TJ crosses the line in second. He had a chance here for the win, but he settled for a little bit of a crazy strategy. It still worked out, and it's a P1 and P2 for the Red Bulls here tonight in the USA. Verstappen in third, HVAC Toaster in fourth, Seafreeze in fifth. We're going to have Darth Vader just about to cross the line here in sixth place. And then we're going to have Bats Plus in seventh, Cam in eighth, Just Jose is going to bring it home in ninth. And then Chargers seems to be taking home the last point of tonight's race here in 10th place. Dreamzy in 11th, Sir Charles in 12th, and last on track, we lost Cali Rob and Epic wins. And there he is.
Race to watch.
Yeah, I was going to say, there he is, the champion with another win to his tally this season. Red Bull with a 1-2. Great race that we got to watch here tonight. Really good overtaking.
I think some of the guys going different strategies. I think it may have hurted them in the hindsight, but I think it was fun to watch, and it made it different for us. So it was good.
Yeah, would have been excited to see the Mercedes up in the mix a little bit more towards the end of the race there at the top, but still we got a really great race here. There was some great action. We had good overtaking, a lot of good strategy games going on here tonight as well. So yeah, I enjoyed that one. And here's the final results once again. The two Red Bulls on top, B-Tom and TJ. Verstappen in third, Toaster in fourth, Seafreeze in fifth, Darth Vader in sixth. Bats Plus in seventh place, Cam in eighth place, Just Jose in ninth, and Chargers in 10th. And with the fastest lap of the race, an extra point there for himself. So gets 2 points instead of 1 for 10th place. Dreamzy in 11th, and Sir Charles in 12th with the last two finishers. And Cali Rob and Epic Wins did not finish tonight's race. Apprentice, give us a quick summary. What did you like about this race? Kind of favorite moments?
I think all of it was about Verstappen's start that enabled him to kind of get the lead or get second place, and then later get the lead. That kind of made it a little more interesting on the medium tires. I'm reading the chat now in 007, Darth Vader on the grid. Yeah, he was also fuel saving, so I think it was a Mercedes strategy thing where they kind of underfueled their cars a little too much, and they really paid the price at the end.
Yeah, interesting strategy calls here tonight, but overall, I think it was a really good race to watch. We're just waiting for the top three finishers to join us in the voice chat here. I've already invited them. Just gotta give them a couple of minutes before they get in here. But yeah, if you guys missed out on this race, make sure you go rewind and rewatch it because this was a pretty exciting one. We had some really good moments in tonight's race. In the meantime, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, send in some comments, let us know if you have any questions for some of the drivers joining us in the post-race commentary. So I guess we will start with Ecos Verstappen in the Mercedes. Pretty good drive from you here tonight. You were definitely up in the battle for podium positions, especially for the first kind of 2/3 of the race there. But all of a sudden, kind of hit a little bit of a wall and struggled towards the end of the race there. So, tell us about kind of your race from your perspective.
Yeah, the race wasn't too bad. I was enjoying the battles in the first stint, but after that, the I just didn't have the pace. I think just overall lack of prep and maybe something I missed out on the setup. And I think I was in general just kind of missing out somewhere. So I think probably we were scrambling for either like wing level or like how we were gonna balance the wing and top speed and all sorts of stuff right before the race. So we were just really uncertain as to how to get the car. But I think we managed a decent compromise, but it really just I don't think it really worked out too well. But yeah, just for what it's worth, I think P3 is okay. And yeah, it just sucked at the I think the last third of the race. I had to start conserving fuel, so I was like negative zero point 0.3 or something. So I really just had to lift and coast and put myself into danger with I believe it was HVAC and sea freeze, but luckily I still had something left in reserve and could still kind of defend myself with just overall pace. But yeah, considering the lack of prep and just scrambling to find a decent enough setup, P3 is nothing is not too bad. So I'm satisfied.
Yeah, pretty good performance. Apparatus, any questions?
Um, do you think going long on the mediums and extending that stint hurt you at the end?
Um, I don't know. I don't think it did really. I don't think it hurt me whatsoever in terms of overall race result. It hurt me like at all, like not nowhere like at all. I was in the DRS of TJ for a few laps, so I mean, it was okay. And I don't think extending really hurt me on the hards, really. I mean, if anything, it might just give me infinite tire life on the hards for the last part of the race. But yeah, I mean, probably medium hard was not the optimal strategy. But either way, I knew that if I was to start on the medium or if somebody else was starting the medium, the ideal gap is probably like 5, 6, 7 seconds, and that just wasn't happening. So uh, once I kind of knew where I was like, you know what, just take it home. But yeah, I don't think extending really hurt me at all. It probably just benefited me. And I mean, I could have probably risked it and gone onto the softs, but no matter what happens, I was gonna have to conserve fuel in the latter stages. So
Hmm.
probably going on the hard was a better decision, just considering the tire degradation on the soft isn't too nice.
Hmm. Thank
All
you.
right, congrats again on P3. We've only got one more points scoring race left. That's going to be the 100% race next, or no, in 2 weeks' time. Are you going to be, or how excited are you for that one?
Uh, I don't think I've touched Miami like ever on this game. So I mean, I'll give it obviously I'll practice it for a little bit, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's a unique challenge. And last year I actually missed out on the 100%er, which I actually prepared for. So last year's 100%er was at Coda, and I ended up giving Jose my setup, which worked so good for him. But I wasn't able to make it because I was halfway across the country, so I was pretty butthurt about that one. But I'll be able to make this year's 100%er, and hopefully it I hope to have a good enough setup for that.
Awesome. All right, let's move over to the Red Bulls, and we're going to start off with TJ. TJ, obviously the big burning question that both me and Apprentice have on our minds right now is your strategy. Putting on those soft tires at the end instead of the mediums that we were kind of expecting you to put on. Also taking your hards so deep into the race. Obviously, that made more sense when you put on those softs. But let us know about that kind of in hindsight now. Do you think that was the best decision?
Well, I wouldn't say it was it was a bad decision or the best decision. I mean, sometimes when you're racing, you gotta try new things. Because it's my first season in Platinum, racing against these guys who are pretty quick. And to be able to beat them, they have years of experience over me, so you have to try something different. So I think during the first part of the race, I was keeping up with stepping, with silent, without using ERS, like just keeping the gap between 2 seconds, because I knew the mediums are gonna fall off around lap 12 and 13 and on, so I was gonna be able to close up the gap with him. And then when that happened, I overtook him, so then my teammate pitted, so I'm like, oh damn. He was going for the undercut, and I didn't know. Well, then when I got to like lap 16, I was contemplating, should I go on the medium, should I go on the soft? And then I counted the laps. So I was like, there will be 9 laps left if I went in now. So I thought the soft were gonna hang on to the end of those 9 laps, but they didn't, unfortunately. But I'm not I'm not like I'm actually happy that I did that because now I know what to do for next time. Probably extend the hard tires more, probably to like lap 20, 21, 22, and then go for the go for the soft because I had such a pace advantage over everybody tonight. So I felt like if I had extended more, then I'll have been able to make it work. But yeah, I'm still happy though.
All right, man. That was a pretty good drive, all things considered, but definitely surprised that with that strategy call. Apprentice, any questions for TJ?
I think he answered it pretty good. I'm satisfied though. No questions.
All right. Well, in that case, TJ, good luck next week in the All Star race if you're participating, and also good luck in the season finale.
You appreciate it.
Okay, and let's jump over to your teammate there, and the champion, of course, of season 14 in the Platinum class of Trinity Competitive Racing, B-Tom, otherwise known as Tasmanian Devil previously as well. Congratulations, another win, another one this season. This is going to be win number, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is going to be number 7. So 50% of the season has already been won by you. How does that feel?
Feels pretty good. Um, I'm fairly satisfied with how my season's gone. There have been some things that have kind of annoyed me and some things I could have done better, but you live and you learn. So um, I probably wouldn't go back and change things if I could, because the lessons learned from those are um, going to be lessons I'll carry forward into future seasons. So yeah.
All right, and the All Star race next week, and then the 100% race season finale in Miami. How you feel about those next two coming up?
I might not be there for the All Stars race, just because it's on a Tuesday and I'm normally only home on Thursdays. But for Miami, I kind of hate that track. I think it's stupid, especially the little Mickey Mouse chicane at the end of the lap. Um, but it's on the calendar, so I'll just have to bite the bullet and put in the practice for it. Though technically I don't need to. It's you know, if I'm gonna commit to something, I always try and give it 100%. So yeah, even
Yeah,
though I
no
hate the
pun
track,
intended.
I'll prepare for it.
Yeah. All right. Prattis, any questions for B-Tom?
Uh, sure. Yeah, driving around in third at the start of the race, driving around in third. How do you think what contributed to you getting gaining positions and kind of getting the lead and maintaining that? Was it strategy? What do you think it was?
Well, the whole time I knew all of us were pretty close on pace. Um, and I knew it was going to be pretty hard to overtake without using a lot of battery. So I just sat in TJ's DRS and saved up my tires and thought about coming back at him later. And then right when that was about to happen, he caught up to silence. So then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna pit and see what happens. Um, I know the undercut on the mediums is relatively strong, but I knew um, TJ on the fresher tires would come back at me. I never really was worried about silent or professional just because he dropped back once he lost DRS. Um, so I was expecting TJ to catch up and we'd fight for the win, but I wasn't expecting him to go into the softs. Um, I mean, we were in the party together and we were kind of communicating. Basically, I told him that, to avoid getting undercut, he should pit soon because he doesn't need to be losing, or he shouldn't be losing time behind, silent on the hards. Um, and then he went a couple laps longer than I think everyone expected. I don't think anyone really saw that coming.
Hmm.
Pitted for the softs, and then I asked him, "Are you sure you can make it to the end?" And he did kind of like a Yuki Tsunoda. I was like, okay. Um, So, I just let him run his race. But I mean, from that moment on, I knew I pretty much had it in the bag, so I wasn't really worried. I was just saving up my tires, um, and making sure I had enough grip in case there was a safety car and I couldn't pit. So yeah, pretty straightforward race, to be honest.
Well done. Congrats on another win. Yeah, good luck for the season finale.
Appreciate it.
All
See you
right,
guys tomorrow.
Thanks.
folks.
It's fun.
Yeah, that's gonna be it here for tonight. Thank you guys so much for watching. As I mentioned there a couple of times, but I'll mention it again. Next week is a special event. It is gonna be on the Tuesday, but instead of the silver class, we're gonna have a week off for all three of the classes. But we're still gonna have a big race, and that's gonna be the All-Star race. I'm not gonna actually reveal where it's gonna be at because I don't actually know where. I don't think they've actually decided on that yet, the stewards and the officials. So that might be a big surprise. But join us on Tuesday next week at the regular time of 8:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time because we're going to have an all-star race, which is going to be the 5 top runners in all 3 classes combined into one race, plus a few special guests that usually like to make it to that event. Yeah, Pradis, thank you so much for joining me in the booth here tonight.
No problem. I enjoyed commentating with you.
Yeah, me as well. I really hope we'll hear from you again sometime soon. But from myself, from Apparatus, from all the Platinum Class drivers, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Have a great night.